This week, I've been exploring a pattern in modern game design that's becoming harder to ignore. A pattern that explains why so many games feel familiar, predictable, or strangely hollow, even when they're packed with content. And you don't need to have watched any of the earlier videos to follow this one. This is the full picture. It starts with something simple. Studios say that they're listening to players. They say they're building based on feedback. They say they're responding to what the community wants. But when you look at the games that are actually releasing, the design choice doesn't reflect deep listening. It reflects trend following. A mechanic goes viral, a genre spikes, a feature gets attention, and suddenly every project starts drifting in that direction. Not because it fits the game, but because it feels safe. And that's the first big idea. Trend following feels safe for studios, but it feels empty for players. Trends reduce uncertainty. They're easy to justify in meetings. They're easy to measure. They're easy to pitch. But trends don't explain why players enjoy something. They only explain what's popular right now. And popularity is shallow. Meaning is deep. When studios chase trends without understanding the player or the psychology behind them, you end up with games built from familiar parts. Daily tasks, layered currencies, seasonal ladders, crafting webs, reward tracks, extraction loops, roguelike modifiers. Systems designed to keep you playing, but not necessarily keep you feeling anything. It's engagement without emotion. And that leads to the second big idea. Players don't fall in love with trends, they fall in love with identity. The games that stick with people are the ones they talk about years later, aren't the ones that followed the market. They're the ones that knew exactly what they wanted to be. Focused,
It should be around
intentional,
here.
confident, emotionally grounded. Identity is what makes a game memorable. Trends are what makes a game forgettable. But identity is harder to measure. It doesn't fit neatly into dashboards or KPIs. And that brings us to the third idea. Modern game development is increasingly shaped by metrics. Retention curves, engagement spikes, session length, churn points, heat maps, funnel drop-offs. These tools aren't bad. They can be incredibly useful. But when metrics become the foundation of design, instead of a supporting tool, the experience starts to feel engineered instead of feeling inspired. Predictable instead of expressive. Metrics can tell you what players are doing, but they can't tell you why they're doing it. They can show you where players drop off, but they can't show you what players value. They can highlight what's popular, but they can't reveal what's personal. And when studios rely too heavily on metrics, they end up designing for behavior instead of emotion, for engagement instead of meaning. Players can feel the difference. They can feel when a game was built from passion, from a clear vision, from a desire to create something meaningful. And they can feel when a game was built from trend reports and engagement charts. One feels alive, other feels calculated. So, as we close out this week, here's the takeaway. Trends can inspire design. Metrics can guide design, but neither can replace intention. The games that resonate are the ones players remember, and are the ones built with identity. Not the ones chasing whatever's popular, not the ones optimizing for whatever's measurable. Players don't follow trends, they follow meaning. And until studios start designing for meaning again, the gap between what the player wants and what they get will keep growing. Thanks for spending this week with me. Let's keep exploring this together. Thank you, and I hope you all have a great day.